And that's up to me. Let's see if I can give you one. I now would like to see the dynamics that takes place in this next world, the dynamics, the forces that are at work, the way he describes it. And I'd like you to consider whether or not there may not be a relationship between what he is describing and things that we perhaps, very likely in any case, for this group, all can recognize. Pranayama, Hindu breathing exercises, right? Familiar? Everyone here is familiar with pranayama? Two kinds, Bhastrika, right? And the Ujjayi, right? Bhastrika, the forceful breathing. And as we go through this, and the way in which it's described, there's certain things he's going to connect with it. He's going to say, these forces are like breath, and where these powers go and what they do are like centers. He describes these forces by saying that they circle the earth and what do we have here? The familiar Kundalini. And here's the heresy. Is it possible that that's what's going on? Is it possible that he's using the word breath? He's going to talk about centers. He's going to talk about the serpent power. Now, is it possible that we can line them up? And then we have another heresy after that. But so this is the first. All right. Okay. Yes.
This whole thing as you're describing, I mean, it sounds very similar to Tibetan Book of the Dead, right? From the beginning of getting ready for the death and everything else.
You're
right?
absolutely right. Yeah, that's absolutely right. That's right.
I was wondering, had he gone to Tibet?
That's right. No, it's the other way around.
Because
the Tibetan Book of the Dead is the 8th century A.D.
Right.
8th to the 9th century A.D., maybe 10th, depending upon how you read. Yeah, all right.
I mean, my mind, all tonight I've been thinking, there's some connection over there.
I have a friend of mine who's a very accomplished martial art, let's see what we call them, martial art, kung fu, no, not kung fu, what's the other? There are several.
Taekwondo?
I think Taekwondo as well. Karate, Taekwondo, several. And he made a study of Greek vases. All he did was study Greek vases where there are wrestling holes. And he did a beautiful paper, which I have a copy of, where he has shown that all of the formal holes are classic holes in karate and martial arts. If so, that means we have to look at the Greeks in a different way. Because we think many of them started in Okinawa. We think they started by Buddhism much later. And this colleague of mine, who I have fun joking with, I keep telling him if he's not going to publish it, I'm going to send copies around by Xerox, through the good friend Xerox copying machines, so at least stuff can get out. Now, some people can give birth to things, but they can't let them go. And he's one of those who's still clutching to his baby. And it's a good one. It's a good one. So, keep in touch, and I might get you a copy after I talk to him. Matter of fact, we will even give him a greater problem by telling him that we talked about him. All right. Here we go. I'll have to read this to you. Now, we were talking about this. All of these rivers flow together. They flow together and descend. They flow together and descend. Now, notice heat, cold. Right? There are very interesting things going on here. Well, okay, let's read it. For all the rivers flow together into this chasm and flow out of it again. And they have each the nature of the earth through which they flow. Right? So each one, right, this, however this river flows, it picks up the nature of whatever it flows through. Principle of Kundalini Yoga. Each of the centers, each of the great chakra centers has its own luminosity, has its own specific psychic state, and therefore as the Kundalini energy passes through each of the centers of the chakras, so one experiences different things appropriate to each of the chakras. And the reason why all the streams flow in and out is that this liquid matter has no bottom or foundation, right? No bottom. So what does it do? So it oscillates. Right? Hey. Right. These four rivers come down. Right. Right. And let's watch it. What does it do? It's a power. It goes up and down, up and down. It oscillates up and down, from side to side. And the air and the wind about it do the same. Right? So the air and wind, right, does the same. That's right. So, right? So through that, the air and wind do the same. Air going up and down. Right? For they follow the liquid both when it moves towards the outer side and the earth, and when it moves towards this side. See? One side to the earth, one side to the other, which is therefore the other side would be heaven. Up and down oscillates. Just as the breath, see? He's doing it. Just as the breath of those who breathe blows in and out. So the wind there oscillates with the liquid and causes terrible and irresistible blasts as it rushes in and out. Bhastrika, right, in Kundalini Yoga, right? The powerful breathing in and out, right, where you generate great energy going in and out and breathing. And when the water retires to the region which we call the lower, it flows into the rivers there and fills them up, as if it were pumped into them. And when it leaves that region and comes back to this side, it fills the rivers there, right? And when the streams are filled and they flow through the passages and through the earth and come to the various places to which their different paths leads, there they make the seas, the marshes, the rivers, and the springs the sources of life. I added that, by the way, sources of life. Hence they go down again under the earth, some passing around to many regions and others flowing into smaller places, and so goes on into the description. It's conclusion I want to get to, though. But all flow in below their exit, right? There's a certain place, right? They flow in on the side from which they flowed out, others on the opposite side, and some pass completely around in a circle, coiling about the earth once or several times like serpents, then descend to the lowest possible depth, and fall again into the chasm. Now